So recently, Conor McGregor went on a huge rant about the entire lightweight division on Twitter. To sum it up, he said that he will fight Justin Gaethje next and went off on him for criticizing him as a father. He said Khabib Nurmagomedov is an embarrassment. He said that he loves Tony Ferguson, however, he was never at the level perceived. And he also said he would feed Dustin Poirier to the floor again. Tony Ferguson responded to Conor saying, "You're still my bitch. You never represented me according to Audi. If so, then you worked for me and withheld money from me. Focus on putting the bottle down, kid." He added his new management company and said it's a gold standard, and he said must be hard watching from the sidelines. "Keep it up, chump." Dustin Poirier responded to Conor saying, "You have one win at lightweight in the UFC. Pipe down." Justin Gaethje after the rant posted a poster of him versus Khabib. Kamaru Usman responded by posting a video of Conor getting ground and pounded by Khabib. He wrote, "After all this, you're still talking crazy. Damn, you're a brave one. Hashtag good on you, mate." And lastly, Khabib ended up responding to Conor with multiple tweets. He started off with this one. It says, "Yes, we remember you. You was so nice that night. Be same, don't be fake." He followed up with, "Hug legs. Have you forgot how I knock you down? Or were you typing tweets drunk? Beat you in striking, parts you up in wrestling, absolutely destroy you in grappling, made you grab air with your hands, and at the end you gave up. Last one, don't forget your words, it's only business." And he ended it off with this photo and said, "You don't like legs?" Daniel Cormier on Ariel Helwani's MMA show speaks on Francis Ngannou's 22nd KO at UFC 249. DC speaks on how he would fight Francis and says Francis is just a bigger version of Anthony Rumble Johnson.
I think everybody sees these guys, right? And they're so scary. Like, the reality is, and it's hard for me to talk about this because I don't want to disrespect Francis. I think he's a sweetheart. I really do think he's one of the sweetest guys you know. But when I look at him, he's a big, strong, powerful guy, right? I think he's a fantastic puncher. He's a tremendous athlete. But I think it's like he's just a bigger, less skilled version of Anthony Johnson. And, you know, I was able to handle that fine, you know, and I think that
twice,
you know, so I think that I just believe that honestly, it's not a matchup for me in a sense that I'll shoot from across the octagon if I need to, because if I can get to his leg, I know I'll be able to finish a takedown. And if I can withstand the big storm, nobody's lasted the first round. Nobody's been able to really wear him down. You know, what if he starts to get tired? Like, if he starts to get tired against me, I'm pretty good at finding the neck and submitting guys, so I don't know. People saying that I'm afraid, it's the most absurd thing in the world. Like, I'm not afraid of anybody. Like, anybody. And but if I fight your favorite fighter, this guy that you love to see knock people out, and I ground him and I hold him down there and I exhaust him, don't be mad when I make that fighter that is so intimidating to everybody, as Rumble was, look normal. So don't be mad.
Jorge Masvidal speaks on John Jones's latest arrest for a DWI. Jorge says that fighters charged with a DWI should provide educational community service, but should still be allowed to fight. On ESPN, he went on to say, "By no means can I ever judge anybody. I am nowhere near perfect, but I do believe that there should be consequences, mainly because we have so much power. I didn't notice how many 11, 12, 13-year-old fans who have come running up to me saying, 'Hey, can we get a picture?' And I'm like, whoa, that's nuts. This guy's super young. How does he know so much about the sport?" I remember back when I was young and we could be very influenced. I don't want kids thinking that it's cool for them to go out and drink and drive. You can hurt yourself very bad. You could actually do something worse and take a whole family. You could do travesties if you're drunk behind the wheel. So in those regards, there should be things handed down. If you were caught drinking and driving, you're going to have to give type of service back to the community. There should be some type of community service back to the public for educational purposes. Let these young minds know that, hey, this is not cool. This was a mistake that I did, but under no circumstances should you do this and think you can get away with it. It's all we got, man. You got to be allowed to fight. Here's some footage of Tony Ferguson at the hospital after UFC 249. Dominic Cruz on Ariel Helwani's MMA show speaks on his loss to Henry Cejudo. Cruz also criticizes the referee Keith Peterson.
I feel great. You know, I'm walking around, I'm healthy. Nothing's injured, so that's a first. It's nice. It feels good to like know that in a week's, a few days time, flush my legs because I checked a lot of kicks, so my shins are a little swollen. Other than that, I feel great. Yeah, when I look at that, you gotta first move into. I encourage everybody, to first move into a responsible place in situations like this. And what was my responsibility? What was my responsibility to work back up to my feet if I did happen to get rocked? To me, that's the job of the referee to tell me that. He did tell me that, and I did do that. So if we're talking about the criteria that the referee offers me to make sure that I get to stay in this fight, I believe I was following those conditions. Before I went out to that fight, I specifically remember looking at this referee, Keith Peterson, and he's like mumbling, touching the floor, like putting his fist down and then putting his fingers about what not, where not to knee and where to knee. And I'm like, and he won't look me in the eyes. And I'm like, and I'm going underneath like this to try to make sure he looks me in the eyes. And I'm like, hey man, I can't understand what you're saying to me. Like, what are you talking about? Be clear, because you are in control of this fight and I want to know what's going on. I need you to make this work. You know what I'm saying? I need you to understand that. Shook his hand and said, I need you to let me go out. This is a title fight. I need you to not be stopping this early. And I'm asking you like, yo man, let me fight my fight. Let me go out there. If this is going to be stopped, don't stop this for some rabbit punches or something. And I looked him in the eyes and I said, because I need you for this. And I shook his hand and I remember, yeah. My experience of him was smelling like he had been out all night the night before, like cigarettes and alcohol. So, and he could not make eye contact with me. I have never in 25 fights had a referee that could not make eye contact with me before a fight. We're in the last 20 seconds of the match. So he says, it's not my job to know the clock. Yes, it is. It is your job to know the clock. You have one job. It's to keep us safe and know the time. Why did me and Henry know there's 20 seconds left in the round? If we know that as top tier athletes, you should know that as a top tier ref. And with 20 seconds left in the round, that is a time when fighters sprint. That's you got to throw Hail Marys in that time. That's the go for it time in a football game. Because the second I saw that this referee couldn't look me in the eyes, I said, I wish I had Herb Dean right here, right now. That's the referee I want. And you see how he officiated that title match after, and I agree with everything he did. I think he officiated it amazingly. So I was prepared to die in that fight. I've been training for this for 3 years, and to get stopped like that was disappointing for me because I have more fight in me, 100%.
Dana White at the UFC 249 post-fight press conference says that Tony Ferguson looked off in his fight with Justin Gaethje. Dana also responds to Oscar De La Hoya and Steven Espinoza.
In talking to everybody this week, I mean, everybody knew how I felt about it. Literally, as a promoter, you can't go out and guarantee that people are going to see anything. This is like, I don't know, in my 20 years of doing this, maybe only the second or third time I've ever guaranteed you that the main event would be incredible. And, the fight was really good. I thought, I don't want to take anything away from Gaethje because he fought an incredible fight. But I thought Tony looked off tonight. Thought he looked slow, and I would have to imagine that cutting weight twice in a month will affect you. So I don't know if that was it or what, but the guy isn't human. He's got a chin like nothing. Nobody takes Gaethje's punches like that. Nobody I've seen since I've been watching, Gaethje fight can take punches like that. But this kid did, man. Tony Ferguson is. He's a special human being. Tony took a lot of damage tonight. Not only did he take a lot of damage, he took damage from a guy who hits like a truck, a guy who punches very hard, and usually knocks people unconscious when he hits them with those shots. So I think the stoppage was great, and I think it actually could have been stopped sooner. First of all, there's something in the contract for disparagement. There's a disparagement clause in there that's in all of our contracts. Isn't that creepy looking little a lawyer? Isn't that creepy little goofball a lawyer? Does he not know what disparagement means? If you disparage the company. I'm not even a lawyer and I know the answer to that question. Yeah, it's disparagement. It'd be like if you came out and said, they never tested me. The UFC never tested me for the coronavirus. But if you came out and had something critical to say about the testing that was true, that wouldn't be disparagement.
Tonight it was announced that Amanda...
In law school did he go to? What the does he know about our contracts? Oh, you just hit me out of left field with this thing. What does that guy know about our contracts? And if you do, I thought that guy was a lawyer. Wasn't he De La Hoya's lawyer? I don't know either. Whatever. But anyway, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's gonna wrap it up for the news. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to Full Mount MMA on YouTube. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Andrew, and it says, "It broke my heart seeing Tony shake his head from the straight left and him stumbling backwards trying to survive." The second one says, "Mad respect to Justin. It really did hurt to see Tony take that kind of damage." And the final one says, "Tony Ferguson's face looks like he just fought Tony Ferguson." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next video, be sure to drop a comment down below on this one.